YouTube, what's going on? It's Black Couch Booking here with a brand new video. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Help me grow. Help us grow. We're a community, man. Let's talk about some wrestling today. I'm very excited to get into this topic. This is a topic that, yes, has been talked about previously, but it's still a big issue even in today's WWE, which is actually crazy if you really want to think about it. It should be very simple, but it's not. So let's get right into the topic. Big men in the WWE have a serious booking problem, and I don't foresee it like getting any better, especially with the change of regime, because the old regime did a really bad job, and I think the new regime won't do well because Triple H is a guy that I believe really likes pure wrestlers, and a lot of the pure wrestlers are the smaller guys. And small is very subjective. I'm just talking about people who aren't 7 feet. But a guy like a Ricochet, a pure wrestler like a Finn Balor, a pure wrestler like a Chad Gable, the pure wrestlers who don't have to rely on their muscles and their height to be, a force in the WWE. Where that's why they're called big men, because the big man is the stereotypical wrestler that Vince McMahon always enjoyed. And when I say big man, I'm talking about the guys like 6'10", up 6'8", up to 7'3". I'm not talking about like you could say The Rock is a big man. Well, yeah, he's very muscular. He's like 6'4", 6'5". You could say Edge was 6'4", tall guy. But I'm talking about the Braun Strowmans, the Omas, the Great Khali back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Guys of that nature, the Big Daddy V's. You know what I'm saying? Mark Henry. Big, tall, and big. And the issue that I would like to address is that they just they can't consistently get booked as like dominant forces, which I don't understand why that's so hard to do. Like, think about back in the day with the Big Show. The Big Show was supposed to be this big impending force, the next Andre the Giant, but he will always fall subject to being the comedy joke. That feud with DX, where Vince McMahon had his own. Vince McMahon booked himself to have his own head shoved up Big Show's ass. Big Show was booked in a love triangle with Vicky Guerrero in a wheelchair and Edge at the time. Like, the Big Show should have just been a guy who won the World Heavyweight Championship, dominated everyone until he was defeated. Look at a guy like Kane. Kane was booked as dominant for years, and then all of a sudden he becomes Corporate Kane, which is one of the goofiest things ever, because Kane was such a serious, scary, spooky character. Like, the Undertaker was never subjugated to being, because Undertaker had that aura, but I think Kane had the aura too, even without the mask. But Kane was made to do like some weird comedy stuff. But I think the most egregious bookings are the bookings of like the Great Khali, because the Great Khali was actually super duper dominant. He was squashing people's heads with his bare hands, making blood come out their mouth. That was one of the scariest things I ever saw when I was a young man. And obviously I didn't know wrestling was scripted back then, but it was just that character and that dominance. Even if you ain't like him, you had to respect it. Him and Vladimir Kozlov. I hated Vladimir Kozlov, but that was the point, and that's what made Vladimir Kozlov so okay, he's about to win the belt. Never got the belt. Great Khali was world champion. You know what I'm saying? And you never thought that the Great Khali would ever lose. It's like, yo, who can beat this guy? Obviously, thoughts came to mind like the Undertaker or whatever. But then when a little guy did beat the Great Khali, it's like, okay, they had to overcome this big obstacle. But then once Great Khali switched the pants from black to red and started dancing and started kissing divas on the mouth and started doing all this other stuff, Punjabi Playboy or whatever, that's when things shifted. And it's like, yeah, you can have a comedy gimmick every once in a while, you can have a nice fun run, but I don't think big men should be booked like that. I think big men should be dominant, and when you're ready for them to take a break and to pass the title off, they should just take a break off the TV and come back the same. Because once he becomes the Punjabi Playboy, you cannot suspend my disbelief of he'll go back to the black pants and become dominant again. It'll just never work. Once you book somebody in such a way, there'll always be a joke, and that was always an issue with the big men. Every time the big men they will come out dominant, they'll be the joke, and then you try to book them dominant again, and no one believes it. Like Braun Strowman is the only big man I could say redeemed himself, because that tag team with the little boy was egregious to me. I think it was kind of disrespectful in a way, in my opinion. You're booking him to be tag team champions with a kid. It was cool for the PG era, and it was cool to get more kid fans and stuff like that, but Braun Strowman, he was redeemed by becoming Universal Champion, so he's one of the only few who I say bounced back, because I don't think about the things that Braun Strowman had to go through when he wasn't as dominant, anymore. I don't think about that often, but someone who can hopefully escape that trap as well is Omas, because Omas is just written off, which is good. Because Omas was about to go down that road of he used to be dominant, but he loses every damn match. Now you know what's coming next. He's about to dance and break dance in the ring or do something. Like the guy, I never even really watched this guy. I was about to call him Shanky, huge guy. Could have easily been the next Great Khali, but all of a sudden you just make him start dancing for no reason. Let me say this, man. Vince McMahon loves big guys, but he always treats them like garbage once he gets bored with them, which is a Vince McMahon thing. He does that. He did that to the women, and he does that to the big men. Oh, this is going to be the next great thing. He's going to be the 7-foot monster. And Vince McMahon like, it's not really working. He's not selling. He's not really a draw. Let's make him dance and shake his ass. Like that. Like, Vince McMahon has some of the laziest booking ever, because you always knew it was going to happen. Okay, this big man is dominant. He might be world champion, might not be world champion. And then all of a sudden, you won't see him on TV for a while, and then he'll do something goofy, and then he'll be goofy for the rest of the run. And then you'll never see him again. That's another issue with big men. The only big man that was consistent and stayed around was Big Show, because he took what he could get. I gotta do this. All right, boss. You gotta do this. Okay. But it's like other big men, I'll just retire, bro. I'm 7'3". I could be playing basketball overseas or something, or I could just be 7'3" and living my life. I already got the check. But you're gonna have me come back and dance and kiss divas that aren't attracted to me, and I'm married, and I'm all this type of stuff, and just do things that are embarrassing, and I could never win a championship or even win a match. I just come out to be a joke or a prop character. So you guys can understand, like, where I'm going, because I don't know what Omas is gonna do. Omas right now is the most notable name. That's a big guy, because Braun Strowman right now, he's doing good. He's still in the mix. He's still walking around. What I'm talking about, like really big guys like that, is not really that many of them left. Like Omas should have. I'm gonna say this: Omas should have won the Intercontinental Championship by now, or the United States Championship, because now you can't just book him as a guy that's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship eventually, or win the WWE Championship. It just won't work, because we've seen what you tried to do and it didn't work. And I felt like he got pushed too fast to the main roster. He should have stayed on NXT and had more NXT like time for a longer period of time. But obviously, if it's man, so a 7'3" guy, let's put him on TV. Let's put him with MVP. Let's put him with this guy. Let's put him with this guy. And let's put him with AJ Styles. The AJ Styles run with Omas was actually working. They won the tag team championships. You're supposed to then take him to the next level and keep going and keep going. If Omas would have won Money in the Bank one year, I wouldn't have been upset with that. It would have made logical sense. Omas didn't even win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, did he? Or did he win one of them? It was Braun Strowman that won, right? And LA Knight did. If Omas won one of those, let me know. I really don't remember. His WrestleMania runs weren't I think he had like 2 or 3 maybe, but it wasn't great. It's not memorable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Great Khali was booked very well. Hated him, didn't like him. He had a good mouthpiece, and then nothing. And WWE will continue to have that big man problem even without Vince McMahon, because Triple H is a guy that, bruh, I'm putting the best people on TV that can wrestle, even if they don't have the best aura, which is a video coming soon. They don't have the best aura, they don't talk the best, they don't do this. If you can wrestle, you're at least going to be on the match, bro. You might not sell merch and stuff like that, but you're at least going to be on the match, and it might not be a storyline, but you'll have a good match. Big men aren't great wrestlers. Braun Strowman is probably one of the best to me. Obviously, the likes of the Undertaker, Kane, etc., etc. I'm talking about really, really big guys like giants. Braun Strowman's probably one of the best. Omas isn't really up there. Great Khali had like 3 moves. Um, Big Show is up there as well. Big Show actually had good matches that kept you entertained for a certain amount of time and things of that nature. So I could say that Big Show will probably be up there as well. But I think it's a problem that's going to continue to happen until they're just ready to pull the trigger and just like, hey man, let's give a big man a dominant run and let's just keep it going. Like let's not stop it and stop the momentum. At least I don't think Triple H will be in the business of, if I'm gonna get a big guy, I'm gonna make sure he's like a complete joke eventually. I don't think that's the case. I think that Triple H is looking for that one big guy that could really wrestle, like somebody like the Viking Raiders. They're not super tall, but they're big guys and they can wrestle. Umaga had a really good run. Umaga is probably one of the other ones who escaped being made a complete and total joke. Obviously, he was part of some comedic segments after being an Intercontinental Champion, but he was still like, when someone was gonna face Umaga, you didn't know that Umaga was gonna lose guaranteed. But after a while, when you saw Great Khali face somebody that was probably a heel, when he was a Punjabi Playboy, you knew he was gonna lose. Omas, you knew he was gonna lose at WrestleMania. You knew Braun Strowman was gonna beat him. Like stuff like that. You knew Bobby Lashley was gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? So just suspend my disbelief sometime. But if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, where I'm dropping videos like this all the time. And we're gonna keep talking about these topics, man. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, almost died. Talk to you soon. Peace.